This has been a very satisfying game of dirty Anubian death versus my not so dirty Anubian death, but still Anubian. By dirty Anubian death, I of course mean the combo with Priestess of Takhat and Vile Reavers, not Necroceptor, but the Skull Scepter, and everything that just does these little bits of face damage when Anubians die. That is what my opponent is playing here today. Nothing wrong with it, other than it's a very dirty deck. Very dirty deck, and he bullied the hell out of me in this game with my own custom Anubian deck, which has a couple of Priestesses of Takhat, but they're really more of a distraction. A little bit more of a softening up than anything else. They are certainly not sufficient in numbers, reach from the black and land of the dead, and all that sort of dirty Anubian stuff that is honestly one of my least favorite decks to play against. Just because it's so impassable when the combos start going off right. Anyway, kicking things off here, and this is an especially bad matchup for me because a lot of his damage procs when Anubians die. And so his Anubians die, my Anubians die. It's damage, more and more damage to my face. Like I say, I do have Priestess of Takhat. I do have Anubians myself, but my deck is not designed towards that face damage, Priestess of Takhat type lifesteal, Vile Reaver, Reach in the Black. It's not that kind of Anubian deck. It's more of well, you'll see what it is. If you've been watching any of my videos at all, you've probably already seen this deck being played. Working my way to see how high up I can get it, but at the moment I think we're at Solar Gold. Also, another part of this game is that I got an incredibly bad and slow start. I really had nothing to even play for the first few hands, and like I say, my opponent absolutely bullies me for just ages in this game. Vile Necromancers, or Raving Necromancers, rather. The Raving Necromancers, which of course do that pass-through face damage. His goal is basically to get... Now, I threw my my Azanoth on the board because I had nothing else to throw. I didn't even have any one-mana creatures in the void, I don't think, to summon back. It's just basically... It was basically a just put whatever I can on the board. But as you can see, I think I passed 3 or is it 4 turns now with just nothing to play. Really, really hurting. My hand is stacked with 6 and 7 drops. 2 Nephilis Guardians, 2 Bifurcating Curses, 2 Demogorgon, or 1 Demogorgon rather. So, yeah. So at this point, one possibility open to me is a Bifurcating Curse to remove a little bit of damage from the board. It hurts, it sucks, I hate it, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it and at least take some of that damage off the board. Largely, like I say, with Anubian death decks, you have to be careful of him putting down those Priestesses of Takhat. He wants to kill his Anubians. He wants to throw them into your front line, like my Nephilis Guardian, for example, to just bypass through and do that face damage. So I was a little bit nervous about putting on Nephilis. I didn't think he had lethal or anything like that, but it doesn't take too many turns for the Anubian to add up that lethal face damage. So anyway, at this point, I don't really have a lot of options because we got some 2s and some even an odd mana cards on the board. Yeah, I'm just kind of figuring out what do I do here. We got even, odd. Okay, we could take out the odds with a Bifurcating Curse, but to what effect, really? It's time to really just throw down Nephilis Guardian and hope he doesn't have... He's only got 3 cards in hand, so hope he doesn't have too much reach around for face damage. I'm optimistic when he throws his Blitz Reaver into my Nephilis Guardian without throwing down any Priestess or anything like that, because it means that he probably doesn't have a big combo available just yet, which is fortunate, because at this point we're so far behind. We've missed 3 or 4 turns and we're so far behind. My finger is on the Alt F4 keys, thinking this game is a wash. But now that we are into 6 mana, things are perhaps looking like there's a glimmer. Is there a glimmer? Maybe. Pyramid Warden on the board again. Always worried that he's just going to snap down some frontline and go right past, or it's not some frontline, some face damage, some dirty Anubian death deck face damage, just by running his creatures into my frontline. It's almost scary to have creatures on the board. Health is okay at 19, but it wouldn't take too much to get through that. Curse of Greed deals with my Pyramid Warden, and he gets back, I forget what that one is. Luckily, love me some Malaysian Magistrate. He's got another Curse of Greed though, so okay, there we go. Goodbye to the Pyramid Warden. Blitz Reaver on the board, and doing a little face damage, doing a little card draw. I might have focused more on just doing straight face damage if I was him, but he was determined to keep my board clear. With his 30 life, the Necroceptor is such an unbalancing relic when it comes to just keeping death healed up. Luckily, another unbalancing card is Demogorgon. Demogorgon does swing games. I'm sure without Demogorgon, I would not have had a chance. But Demogorgon gets a little bit of healing. It gets a nice leechy body on the board. It's just a great stall and heal, and makes favorable trades in some cases. Type of all-rounder that can swing the momentum, can give you a fighting shot when you're in a really bad place, and can certainly swing momentum when momentum is terrible. If missing 3 or 4 turns earlier on in the game isn't a testament to the value of Demogorgon, I don't know what is. But things are still not looking great. My opponent does have quite a number of cards in hand. There's the Priestess of Takat on the board, and we're reaching around for some of that dirty Anubian face damage. Nice to be on the giving side of that, not so nice to be on the receiving side of it. It just adds up so quickly. 2 damage, and then you get 2 of those Priestesses on the board, and it just gets silly. So of course I need to deal with the Priestess. I do have my own Blitz Reaver, which can deal with the Priestess. And I would like to swing face with my Demogorgon here, because then I'll get +4 heals. At 13 health, I could pretty much use any heals I could get. So I decided to go that route. Demogorgon to face, and then we have just enough mana to throw down Nephilis Guardian frontline, and we can take out the Priestess of Takat with the Blitz Reaver ahead of time. Now I should have probably grabbed the Volka's Discovery in the Sanctuary, but I think I wasn't paying close enough attention. That being said, in order to get favor, my opponent has to get through my front line first, and make a couple of favorable trades. There it is, Land of the Dead in gold. So he reaches into his void and he pulls out a bunch of Anubians now. Blitz Reavers in particular. They will now trade off against my Nephilis Guardian, and Priestess of Takat will reach around for that face damage a couple of times, 3 times, 6 face damage, which is yikes, which is ouch, and 1 more time even, +1 from the Vile Reaver, and yeah, things are looking kind of ugly at this point. Really quite not so very great. That being said, I do have Bifurcating Curse in hand, and everything on the board is an odd mana card. So, okay, let's get a little bit of healing. This is, save our skins type thinking. Unfortunately, we have to sacrifice Demogorgon here. But we are able to clear the board and perhaps buy another turn. And this time, luckily, I do spot Volka's Discovery in the Sanctum. This is going to turn out to be a very, very big card. It's not that I want to give away too many spoilers or anything. Pharaoh's Heirloom for some more Blitzy Reavers. Another Pharaoh's Heirloom. Just loading up his side of the board with more dirty Anubians. No offense, of course. Just the way I think of this particular deck. Very, very dirty. As valid as any other dirty deck, of course, but very, very dirty. Now, as I mentioned, Volka's Discovery is absolute clutch in that everything on his board is 1 health. And so Volka's just clears off the board and basically saves my bacon here. He is, of course, able to get a little bit of face damage in, but Deathwatch Curate is quite a nice card here in that if you're below 15 health, it heals you for +3 every turn. And at this point, at 6 health, you're not going to complain about any amount of healing, no matter how small. 3 is a decent little heal, mind you. Not too bad. That being said, this whole game so far has just been an absolute bullying. can't feel like I've been doing anything except saving my bacon each turn. Just like, what can I do to have one more turn? What can I do to have one more turn? That's basically all I've been thinking here. Luckily, I do get another turn. Eyeing up Anubis, Guardian of Souls, which will draw me a card every time a friendly Anubian dies, but I don't really have many Anubians on the board. The other option here is the big bony bastard, which will give me a nice Tempt Fate. And I do eye up that Nightleaf Tracker. So perhaps I can finally get rid of his Necroceptor. Empowering this for 1, and that will actually turn out to be a very important decision, as you will see later. We do get that nice Twin Strike on the big bony bastard. And Nightleaf Tracker goes down. At this point, I'm taking his Anubian off the board because I fear Priestess of Takat. I want to keep those Anubians off the board as much as possible. I'm considering playing a naked Pharaoh's Heirloom here just to get a little bit more on the board, but I decide against it. I don't really feel like it's going to have tremendous benefit. Also, a fortunate decision, as you will see. There's the Skull Scepter. Now that is a dirty card, especially when you've got like endless Anubians in your void to bring back and die, and then deal that 1 face damage every time one of your creatures dies. Like I say, guys, very, very, very... I was going to say nasty, but no, it's just a dirty deck. It's a dirty, frontline bypassing, board presence resisting deck. Takat the Forgotten, though, is actually a really nice sight here. That is because she will summon me back something from my void, my strongest creature, and my strongest creature will get Leech if it's a Nubian. The only creatures in this deck that aren't Anubians are the Demogorgons, so pretty good chance I'm going to get some Anubian Leech back. In retrospect, I'm not sure if I should have taken out those 2 Anubians, but again, thinking of Priestess of Takat, if she comes down, it would have been very, very bad. So There he goes again, reaching into the black this time, summoning up more Anubians. 3 Vile Reavers this time. Luckily, the leech on my Nephilis Guardian turns out to be quite helpful. He prevents heals as much as he can, of course, by finishing it off with a blood ritual. But at this point, it looks like he's drawing for cards because, yeah, he plays just an empty 1/1 on the board. Of course, you can't attack face with Nephilis Guardian, but, you know, at 6 health, you're willing to try various things that you know aren't going to work. So I was like, can I attack face? No, I know I can't, but let's just try anyway. I really could use that +5 healing. Once again, keeping those Anubians off the board as best as I possibly can. And otherwise, well, here I'm actually doing a little bit of math. Remember I said that Pharaoh's Heirloom was going to be important later? There we go. There's the math. Watch this math, guys. 16 health, 8, 1, and 1. For exact perfect lethal. Oh well. Hope you guys like this game.